I can tell you that the month that we turned over to Cinch, all of our CRM and everything, our 5-star Google reviews tripled.
Wow.
And we review that every week. Suddenly we went to like 400 a week out of the box. I mean, it was unbelievable. It tripled.
Welcome to the Gain Traction Podcast, the official podcast for tire business. I am Mike Edge, your host, and I have the privilege of interviewing the tire dealers, shop owners, counter sales reps, technicians, industry executives, and other thought leaders of our industry. This episode is brought to you by Tread Partners. Tread Partners is the leading digital marketing agency that specializes in digital marketing for multi-location tire and auto repair shops. Tread Partners works with clients that have hundreds of locations down to 5 locations. Get a professional, unbiased opinion and let Tread Partners review what you're doing. It starts with a simple conversation. To contact Tread Partners, visit treadpartners.com. So let's get started. Welcome to the Gain Traction Podcast, the official podcast for tire business. My guest today is a returning guest, Tim Winkeler, President and CEO at VIP Tires and Service with close to 80 locations in the Northeast. He is making his third interview with us at Gain Traction. So Tim, welcome back to the Gain Traction Podcast.
Thanks, Mike. Great to be here. Great to see you again.
You too. I think I've had people on here for little short snippets, like when I met SEMA, but I actually think you're the first one to do 3 full. This will be the third interview. So welcome back.
So you got like a crown or something, or a
I
trophy?
think I might send you one, or a St. Louis Cardinal hat.
I'll take that. I'll wear that.
So just for the audience's sake, we're both Cardinal fans, and that makes Tim a great guy right out of the gate. But just on a personal note, you had told me about your favorite movie. Everybody, when I meet people when I travel, they know my questions now, and they know they get a kick out of them and everything. So people are always asking me, what's your favorite movie, or what's your favorite food, or what's your favorite this? Yours was Tucker. And I thought that was really cool because you're the only one that's ever said that to me. And we both had seen the movie, and you jarred my memory last time. But you said you had a list of movies. Is there any other ones out there that just pop right now?
Well, I mean, yeah, there's some traditional ones. I mean, for this time of year, A Christmas Story, love the leg lamp, and It's a Wonderful Life. That's seasonal as well. I love It's a Wonderful Life, but the other one that my family sort of makes fun of me for, which is the story of Tucker, that we talked about already. My family just is like, they think I must be the only person that thinks Tucker's like this cinematic masterpiece. The other movie that I absolutely love, I've probably seen a dozen times or more, is Raising Arizona.
Oh, that is funny. And I haven't seen that in a long time.
And
you know what line I like? I don't know why this sticks out to me because I don't remember the movie real well. But it's Nicolas Cage, and he's at there. He's robbing the place. He goes, "Just give me the diapers, old man." Remember that? Do you remember that? Before that, the guy. I just remember this. The guy goes, "You got a panty on your head." Didn't he say something like that?
That's right. It's the most absurd movie, and I love Nicolas Cage. I love John Goodman, but my favorite character is the guy who plays Nathan, Arizona, and he owns that furniture store. And when they're interviewing him, because it's his baby that they've stolen, and when they're interviewing him, and he starts like they're saying, was it true that your name was formerly Nathan Huffhines, and that you have changed your name to Nathan Arizona, and because his store is called like something Arizona, and he says, well, yeah, nobody would. Oh, it's called Unpainted Arizona is the name. He sells unpainted furniture, and he says, well, yeah, nobody'd buy furniture from a place called Unpainted Huffhines. And then
my gosh!
Finally lets loose on the policeman in his house because they keep just interrogating him and his family, and he's like, all I know is y'all are in the one place my baby is not.
That's true. Oh my gosh, that movie, that is a throwback, man. I tell you, oh God, I'm trying to think of who the producer was on that, but there's
that was wasn't that the Coen brothers or something? I mean,
I can't remember.
Think they might have been the same guys. It's either the Coen brothers or it's some other group like that. They made several movies that were just kind of absurd and out there, and I just find them hilarious. And most people in my family look at me like I got three heads when I'm just sitting there laughing and laughing and laughing as I watch that movie.
Well, we're both kind of like I'm in Kentucky, so I'm a Southern Midwestern boy, and you are too, some degree.
Yep.
And then you grow up there, and that humor level's the same. And what I always loved Harold Ramis as an actor too, but as a director, as a producer, and everything. And so any one of his movies, I was always a huge fan of in the '80s because I could still laugh at them, all of them.
Absolutely.
And I saw him in an interview one time, and I like biographies, and everybody listens to this show knows that. But I saw him in an interview, and they were talking about John Belushi, and he was talking about when he first met him, and he said, I was in that second, what was it called, Second Street or something in Chicago.
The one that fed into SNL.
Yeah, is it called Second Street? Or
I think it is.
Okay. Anyway, he was in there in Chicago and everything, and John Belushi shows in the scene, and he said, then we're all forced to do a skit together, and he goes, all of a sudden this guy just takes over, and he goes, and then you realize I'm not the lead guy, I'm the supporting guy, and he goes, because when you get a personality that big, you start to learn your spot. And I was the one-liner. I knew how to throw it up dry or whatever. And he was great at that. Yeah. And he acted a lot with Bill Murray too. And it's kind of cool to see an actor understand his spot. But he was involved in so many great, great movies. But he knew it. He knew his spot, and he knew the talent around him. And I like people that recognize talent. And anyway, it's
I think didn't Ramis do Stripes?
He did, and he acted in it.
That's one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah. I mean, John Candy's in that. By the way, I know I'm going off on a tangent. It's easy for me to do this, but have you seen I Like Me, John Candy?
I have not.
It's the documentary on his life now. It just came out in October. It's either on Netflix or Prime. It's fantastic. You're going to love the guy more than you ever liked him. Wow. He's a great guy, but it's just a great story. But the people they interview to talk about him, it's phenomenal. I mean, what they say about him. Do you remember this? Do you remember the scene in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles where he says he's what's his name? Romans or something like that. Gabriel? No, something where he's in the hotel room with Steve Martin, and Steve Martin's just belittling him.
Right.
And he goes, "Well, I like me." That's where they got the title for the documentary. But Steve says in this interview, he says, "Man, he was so convincing. I felt bad belittling him." And he goes, "And I'm on set, and I know we're, it's just, we're just doing a scene, but man, he came off so authentic that I thought I felt bad about what I said to me."
Oh yeah, Dewey, from Stripes, Dewey Oxberger. My name's Dewey Oxberger. My friends call me the Ox.
What about when Candy's talking about his weight? Because everybody probably could tell I'm a little overweight. No.
Doctor says I swallow a lot of aggression along with a lot of pizza.
Well, you're a good one-liner. You remember them well. All right, let's get to the talk on VIP tires. So what's the count? I say close to 80. What's the count that you guys are at?
We're getting close to 80. We're at 76 today that we operate, and we've got a 77th shop that's scheduled to come online in February. That's an acquisition down in Connecticut. So
nice.
Breaking news, we've got 3 in Connecticut today that we've acquired in the last year and a half, and this will be our 4th into Connecticut. We've got several others sort of in the funnel that'll hopefully be opened later in 2026.
Fantastic. So acquisition's still a big part of the game right now for you.
Acquisitions are a big part. We also have done a few new stores where it's not an acquired business, where we just go in. We've bought a couple old dealership buildings where car dealers move out. They sometimes the manufacturer requires them to go build a big new building to their spec or whatever. So we come in behind them and buy the real estate. And typically that's a pretty good recipe for us. In certain markets, we've done that. But it's a quicker ramp up for sure for us to be accretive early in the process for us to acquire a business. And we've become selective in terms of we're really looking for a business that's already humming pretty good, without having to go in and do a huge lift and drive the business and double or triple it. We can take over a really busy shop and add another, say 20, 30% to the volume. And that's a great recipe for us.
That's huge. Well, that leads to this question, and they're sponsoring this show, but I know you guys use Cinch, and since the last time I talked to you guys, I mean, you made a big change to using Cinch as a software. Talk about what they do and where that helps you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of little things that you have to kind of do right to keep the business growing every year. And when we made that change to Cinch about a year and a half ago, I can tell you the one place where I saw it immediately, there's all kinds of other benefits that our marketing team talks about in terms of the usability of the administration screen and all the things they can do, the custom campaigns for our customers, email and text and all that. I can tell you that the month that we turned over to Cinch, all of our CRM and everything, our 5-star Google reviews tripled.
Wow.
And we review that every week. And we used to be solidly with 70 stores or so. We used to be solidly between 120, 130 5-star reviews a week, which sounds like a lot, but when you got 76 stores, that's really only like 2 per store.
Yeah.
Suddenly with Cinch, we went to like 400 a week out of the box. I mean, it was unbelievable. It tripled. And it's the whole follow-up text campaign, follow-up email campaigns. They just do a great job of keeping us connected to our customer. And, our mission as a company is to earn a customer for life. And today, as much as anything, that's, a lot of that is how they get treated when they're in the store. Obviously, you have to deliver a great experience in the store, but so much of it is teed up prior to and then is also post visit. There's a lot that
100%.
digitally you have to be connected to your customers. And so the emails we send out now on declined services or your oil changes due or your rotations due, or a plethora of other things. The other thing that was cool is probably 6 or 8 months ago, I was actually in one of my dealer meetings with a bunch of other dealers, and somebody was talking about the fact that their system was sending out appointment reminders, like the day before or a couple days before every appointment. And so I got on a call with our marketing team in Cinch, and within like 3 weeks, we had appointment reminders that were being texted to all of our customers where we had a mobile number. And that has increased our overall vehicle count because it has reduced the number of times that we have no-shows and we didn't hear from that person who needed to change their appointment. Because we have a lot of customers who call and they'll book an appointment 2 or 3 weeks ahead of time, not because we're forcing them to, but because, they're calling in October. Yeah. They want their winter tires scheduled for November on a certain day. And then if they forget about that, we send them that text message appointment reminder. Cinch makes it easy to do all that stuff. So we feel like digitally we're as well connected to our customers as we've ever been. And a big part of that is Cinch.
It sounds fantastic, but that automation and having everything in place is such a key because I just think of my own experience, and I use one just recently for me in a totally different industry, but my doctor visit, I do my annual, they schedule you a year out for your annual, right? Every annual. And I've got it on the calendar. I know it's there, but life happens and you start having things pile up on your calendar work-wise. And then all of a sudden I start getting these texts, and they send out like a couple to me in a week in advance, and then a couple days in advance or whatever. And I appreciate it. It's the one text, because then I know cognitively I've got to make sure I got a little buffer on my schedule, just not to have, get rushed to be there or whatever. And then sometimes if my doctor likes me to have labs done each year. So it's like, okay, well, I don't want to do the labs after the visit because then they want to talk to you. I want to do them before, so we got something to talk about or whatever. But all of that automation is just huge. Another thing is they get into reputation management too, don't they?
They do. Yeah, absolutely. No, they have a dashboard that our team uses for all the different reviews, the different social channels and everything. I mean, we used to use a separate reputation provider, if you will, with sentiment scores and all that. And that's the cool thing about Cinch also is it's all wrapped up into one solution now. And I can tell you not only do we operators, really like what it's done for us on the reviews, but our marketing team loves just being able to work in the software. Everything's intuitive, really easy to use.
I never ever want this platform to feel like it's an infomercial. So I want our listeners to understand why we're talking about Cinch, because you're a guest and you're a previous guest too, but you've had such a great experience that I think it's relative to the industry that people need to know there's products out there, in particularly Cinch, that can help you run your business extremely effective and reduce stress in a lot of ways. I mean, it takes a lot of like you said, you had a separate tool for reputation, but now it's incorporated in the same tool. And I know the question I wanted to ask you: how difficult of a transition was it for you guys to get completely over to Cinch?
It was not a heavy lift. And in fact, one of the benefits when we made the change was our data. We knew we had a data dupe problem, and we had a former provider that, their integration with our point of sale system caused it was way too easy to create duplicate customers, duplicate customer records, sometimes multiple duplicates. And,
Wow.
and so, that's one of those things where, for anybody out there who does have a CRM provider or is looking at different CRM providers, there's other great ones out there besides Cinch. This isn't just about Cinch, but, you have to make sure that you're dealing with people who are all about clean data. And that was something that we didn't do our homework on the first time. And so that was something, I think there were several 100,000 records that got cleaned up within our data. Which just makes it so much better from the brand perception of customers, not getting duplicated messages and, or not, going into a store and our people in the store seeing sort of, well, I have two profiles here. Which one's the right profile? Stuff like that. The guys at Cinch are very much about clean data and they know their stuff. And that helped us tremendously. The other thing that I would say, lastly about them is, they get our business, and it's not like they have work in our business, but they do enough work with other auto repair and tire shops that they get our business. A quick example of that is I mentioned the appointment reminders. When we turned those on, pretty quickly we realized there was an issue with it, and that was that sometimes we have stores that have a lot of drop-offs, and it's not like everybody's waiting for the vehicle. They get a whole bunch of cars in the morning and a whole bunch of pickups at night. Well, our managers are taking those appointments, taking those vehicles, and they're moving them to different times in the day to different technicians. So they're planning out their work for the day. Well, if they do that ahead of time, and then the 24-hour mark before the appointment hits, and we've moved a drop-off appointment that's coming in on Thursday, we've moved it to 2 p.m., let's say, for that technician to work on. Suddenly, when we first launched the appointment reminders, the customer's getting a text saying, you've got a 2:00 appointment tomorrow.
Yeah.
Even though it's not a 2:00 appointment, they had scheduled to drop off the car in the morning. We quickly got on a call with Cinch, and within like 3 days, they had programmed it so that every appointment's either marked as a drop off or an actual waiting appointment. And it allows us to move those drop off appointments anywhere throughout the day, and it doesn't impact that reminder that the customer gets. So,
oh my gosh, that's got to be huge. And just
little things like that. Like I said, they get the business and they put solutions in place that make sense for our business.
Well, I think about the people I know directly in the business that work the counter and stuff like that. I mean, just that headache of communication and the stress level it causes. It causes stress at the store, causes stress for the customer, and you're eliminating that altogether with just automation.
Right. Absolutely. No,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they came to our conference, our annual conference back in August, and I actually, as one of our action items out of there, I've gotten their CEO in touch with our telephone provider because Cinch has this vision to integrate into our phone system as well, so that when that phone rings, we could actually serve up to our service advisor the customer profile and history and everything about them right there on the screen. So I pick up the phone and I'm like, hey, Mike, good to talk to you again. I see you were in here last month for your oil change on your BMW. What you got going on today?
Man, you know what's so great about that is because if you're like me, I at one time I think we had 5 cars as a fleet in here, maybe 6. I can't remember exactly. We had so many drivers, but just as a dad managing it all, I didn't keep good notes. I was glad to have the little sticker in the window, reminder for oil
Right.
changes on cars. And then, I would go out to each kid's car, check it once in a while. But, I had to be cognitive of it, whatever. But man, if you got reminders,
Yeah.
it just takes a lot of headache away. Or if I'm going to the same shop constantly and they can tell me, well, you already did this on this car. Oh, I got
Right.
that mixed up with the last one, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you keep your tire rotations right, all that stuff. And somebody that just keeps the notes for you, it's worth it.
Right.
It's a huge value add.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
as a consumer, I love it. Well, on another note, going into 2026, any big news for VIP or any big plans, changes, things you see on the horizon?
It's funny. We got some really, really big news, or a big campaign, I should call it. So, next year is going to be our company's 100th anniversary.
Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Wow.
our owner, John Quirk, his grandfather started what was called Quirk Tire Company back then in 1926 in Watertown, Massachusetts. And so next year will be a 100-year anniversary. John Quirk, our owner's third generation owner of the business. Of course, he acquired VIP as a separate company about 25 years ago. But the company that VIP operates as today, even though it is called VIP, is actually the original company that his grandfather started 99 years ago, soon to be 100 years ago. So you're going to see a lot of special promotions. We're going to be doing customer events. We're going to be doing employee events next year, all throughout the summertime and into the fall. We're going to be celebrating 100 years big time next year for VIP. So that's going to be something that
That's
is worth,
awesome.
yeah, it's worth celebrating. We're gonna celebrate big next year.
I love that. And I love you guys are going to do that because look, there's something that's nostalgic about, a family company that survived this long. And then not only that, but has grown from the one store to where you're at today and that you're thriving. And it's what, it's what we call the American dream. I mean, right. And then,
Yeah.
and it's small business America,
Right.
in small town America as well. So
Yeah.
congratulate. That's fantastic. I love
Yeah.
that. And I'm glad you guys are going to celebrate it. I
Oh
mean,
yeah. No, we're gonna lean into it. Our marketing team, we've created a big committee to plan all the regional customer and employee events that we're going to do. Our marketing team's already talked about. They've identified different team members at VIP who own cars from each decade. So
oh,
we're going to
cool.
have like employees highlighted, from the 20s, from who owns a car from the 20s. I was out in our Wyndham main store the other day and we had a Model T there that our master technician in Wyndham was working on. So we're going to have, some of it might be customers as well, but we're going to actually show like decade by decade different vehicles since the 1920s. And I think like for the one going forward, we've got one of our employees here owns a Rivian. So we're gonna go from like the Model T to the Rivian and every decade in between. It's gonna be a really fun thing to celebrate.
That is cool. So are you going to make it like a video? Because I'd love to see it. I mean, like some type of, is that what it's going to be? Is it going to be a video?
I assume so.
Yeah.
I'm picturing it as like 10 different videos, but then we could
Yes.
probably create almost like this montage of like decade by decade, like showing the progression and showing how automotive technology has moved forward in 100 years that we've been operating.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see that. That's going to be
Yeah.
really cool. And it's
Yeah.
all kind of, I mean, it's inclusive to your brand and your people. That's what's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, that's our marketing team was at an event called Brand Week this past month ago or so. And it was funny because they said one of the big themes at this big conference they went to was what they called brand anniversaries, like celebrating brand
Yes.
anniversaries. And so they took all kinds of notes and they've got all these different plans and things. And we've created a special logo with the 100-year anniversary in it. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's cool as heck, man. I'm very happy for you guys. That's exciting. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. No, that's, outside of continuing to grow and continuing to just keep executing our process, that's going to be the big 2026 initiative, is just celebrating the 100 years and helping our customers be a part of that too. We're actually going to another idea that we're implementing is letting each store sort of choose a customer appreciation promotion and have like a
Nice.
week-long celebration at each store, and every store is going to, the team at that store is going to get to decide what that promotion is, what that event looks like, and they'll have ownership of it for the people in their community.
That's beautiful. You spur me to say this because I think every brand that's out there, even if you're a small shop or whatever, you should celebrate your milestones.
Absolutely.
I think it's good for your employees. It's great for your customers. And it kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, reinforces your brand and who you're trying to be to the community.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and there's a part of our customers out there, all of us in this industry, our customers are looking for someone to trust. They're looking for reliability. They're looking for stability. They're looking for consistency, like all these things that play into a consumer's mind when they're trying to choose a shop to take their car. Celebrating anniversaries obviously provides this great message of, hey, we're here and we've been here. You can count on us. We've been around and we're going to be around for, in our case, hopefully another 100 years, right? I mean, you can count on us and we're going to be here when you need us. That
is a great point. And to add to that, it's even important for your employees and prospective employees, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because I've actually felt like I've been in this conversation multiple times on a podcast recently, but, and I've had people ask me because they know I've had several kids and, mine are older and what's it take? And I'm like, consistency. And that's the hardest part, consistency and stability. You got to give kids stability and consistency for a platform to jump from and thrive. Well, it's the same thing in a work environment. People want stability and consistency, but so do your customers. They want stability and consistency, predictability. They can count on you, etc.
Yeah, because it's all relationship based, Mike, right?
Yep.
I mean, whether it's our family members, our friends, or a business we trust our car to, it's a relationship. And that's one of the things that our team talked about is that people typically have a relationship with a brand. If you think of the different brands that, any one of us use, we have a certain relationship with that brand. Sometimes it may not even be a positive relationship. Sometimes it could be a negative impression or perception of a brand, but we all have these different relationships with brands. And in our business, it's so important for that customer who relies on you and the people in your stores to have that relationship, that very positive, relationship where you are the person that they turn to for help. Right.
Yes.
That's what our business is about. We're in the service business. We're here to serve other people.
That's it.
Right. So we have to lean into that relationship and say, we're here and we're going to be here when you need our help. And that's why we come to work every day.
That's a good note to end on. I'm going to leave you with that one.
Awesome.
Tim, I really appreciate you coming back on and being on the Gain Traction podcast for the third time.
Woo. Thanks, Mike.
I got to come up with something to send you, and maybe a St. Louis Cardinal hat, bud.
I will wear it, and I'll wear it on my 4th visit.
All right, we'll do it. Hey, thanks, and I hope you guys have a great New Year in with VIP and celebrating and everything else, and look forward to seeing the news on that.
Awesome, appreciate you, Mike.
All right, take care. To all our listeners, thank you for being part of the Gain Traction podcast. We are grateful for you. If you'd like to find more podcasts like this, please visit gaintractionpodcast.com. If you'd like to make a guest recommendation, please email me at mike@treadpartners.com. This episode has been powered by Tread Partners, the leader in digital marketing for multi-location tire and auto repair shops. To learn more about Tread Partners, visit treadpartners.com.